Hello, my name is Mordred Viking, and I'd like to welcome you to this stream of Europa Universalis IV, where we are playing as Castile. This is the beginner-friendly series, so if you have any questions about what is going on, why I am doing things, how to do stuff, what the possibilities are, what the meaning of life is, then this is definitely the place to ask those questions. And it's 42. We are currently in a very poorly advised war, where everything that could possibly go wrong has in fact been going wrong. We're currently fighting against the Mamelukes. I was basically hoping for a quick fight against them in order to raise some funds, and instead have lost every single engagement that we've been involved in, including about half of our army. So we're just going to basically time that one out. So this is going to be an excellent opportunity to show off how to lose a war without actually losing too much stuff. The important thing is going to be the Mameluke War enthusiasm. If we can drop them down to low, then we might be able to piece them out either for a white piece or for nothing at all, or for like a small amount of money or something like that. So we're going to see what we can do. Unfortunately, we have lost a bunch of war score from the battles that we lost. We might be able to regain that, some of that, by blockading. We can probably maintain some naval actions against them, because I think we have had fair amount of naval superiority. But that is going to be effectively the limit. Unfortunately, this does mean that we are still 1,700 ducats in debt, and we're not going to be able to really regain any of that money in this conflict. I've enjoyed this playthrough, learned a lot about the military and even more about Colonial. Well, hopefully we can get even deeper into Colonial once we actually start getting some colonies going in the Americas. We can start talking about the benefits of colonial nations, tariffs, trade, gold mines, fighting the natives, fighting other colonial nations, and some of the shenanigans that colonial nations really allow you. Like, it's actually quite interesting. When they first announced colonial nations, I hated the idea. I absolutely detested the entire concept behind the colonial nations. I thought it was a terrible idea, simply because I felt it was taking control away from the player and giving it to the AI. But as it turns out, it's actually a really handy tool to allow you to manage really big empires, and that I am very much in favour of. And it does let you do some interesting stuff, particularly actually in both single and multiplayer. There are definitely some shenanigans you can get up to. Mordred does not lose, he only has delayed victories. There you go, exactly. Alright, so we're just waiting for this heavy ship to get repaired, and then I think we're going to try and launch another attack against the Mamelukes and their galleys and see if we can start blockading their coast. If we can do that, then I reckon we can start building up a little bit of war score for ourselves, and also increasing their war exhaustion, which right now we don't have the opportunity for. We need another military person. I think I'm going to take the land maintenance modifier. That's going to make our armies a little bit cheaper to maintain, and thus earn us more money. Oh, also, if we're blockading the Mamelukes, we're making money from the blockades. We need an Admiral. That's not going to be Wrecky Dog. We need somebody else. Wrecky Dog's got other job. Actually, hang on. Before we do that, we are over our commander limit, so I cannot actually hire another Admiral without going even further over that limit. It's very annoying that, because we have the king up, it's costing us a slot. I'm sure it's not supposed to. And Wrecky Dog is currently not actually doing any exploration, correct? I'm just going to double check that there is no exploring available to do. Let's put you in here. Ah, there is. Well, in that case, you should go and explore. Go find me the Caribbean Sea. I want to know as much about the Caribbean as we can get. And then that is going to mean that I am going to have to hire another Admiral, unfortunately. So who do we kick out? Charles? No, because... yeah, it's going to have to be Charles. We're going to have to use Juan. I just can't afford to maintain you. Plus, you just lost us about 3 battles in a row. And I'm not intending to attack them on land. So we're going to recruit an Admiral, and I want an Admiral because we need somebody in command of the battle fleet, because I seem to remember last time we didn't quite win the fight. So, going over to my list of patrons. This is going to be a Hungry Gamer. Okay. Did you miss something? No, we've just started. It doesn't cost a slot, it's a visual bug. Clearly it's not, because it's costing us... Oh no, that's Diplo relations. You are right. Well, that's annoying. Well, we needed the Admiral anyway, although this guy sucks! Curses! Alright, let's go and get another one. Give me some combat abilities, come on! Nope, still not. Wasting all of my points doing this. It would be so nice if I could rename people afterwards. That's better. Although you do have the maneuverability, which would be nice. And you have the blockade ability. Which one of you two do I prefer? You have the extra combat. And then you have the move and the fire. Movement at this point, not massively useful because the fleets are still quite small. The extra siege ability is good though because it would let us blockade more. But right now, combat capabilities are the most important. So we'll take that. It's not a visual bug because you have 4 out of 3 leaders, just the monarch doesn't count towards the military. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure it used to say 3 out of 3 and ignore the leader slots. That's what I think has changed, and that's what I think is the visual bug. Cardinal Minister. One of the cardinals in Castile has proven to be a skilled administrator and already provides useful advice to the king. At this point, making him a minister in our government would almost be only a formality. So we can bring this guy in. He would give us more papal influence, which would be quite nice. Or we can take the prestige, and prestige equals morale. And we're at war, so I'm going to take that. We've already forgiven the usury, so now I think I'm going to levy a church tax to make us some more money. Because this is all about trying to repay those frickin' loans. Alright. Blockade force, go. Three maneuver is good. So, okay, let me talk about this for a moment. So with the maneuver skill, it will give you more engagement width, which is excellent if you're using bigger fleets. But unfortunately, we don't have big enough fleets to really make use of the engagement width. So maneuver is less useful. It is very good when you're protecting trade, which we're not currently doing because we don't really have the naval force limit for it. And it's still a little bit too early in the game for that, to do it really efficiently. And it also increases the movement speed of your fleet, but we're not really chasing down and hunting down people, so I don't think that the maneuver is that much of a loss. Late, like mid to late game, yeah, maneuver is really, really strong. But right now I just want more brute force. So the engagement width I was talking about is this number here. This is the number of ships that can be in a fight at once and firing at the enemy. So our engagement width is 27, theirs is 30. This means that they would have 30 ships firing to our 27. But seeing as I have 15 ships, they have 8, it's irrelevant. Dorado. An adventurer on his deathbed told a tale about a gold-covered king who washed the gold off while his attendants threw trinkets of gold and precious stones into the lake. The man claimed to have been rescued by Dorado himself and seen the ritual and the golden city with his own eyes. Before he fell ill, he made a crude map he claims shows the way to El Dorado. Now, when we arrived in Concaiao, a landmark corresponds to one of the few roughly drawn on the adventurer's map. Castile gets El Dorado until the end of the game, giving us prestige, or we gain admin. Oh, follow the map! Definitely. And there we go, we're now starting to sink their fleets. Sank 3 galleys, lost nothing. Do they have more ships still? They have 8 galleys, 15 transports, so I don't know where they are. I'm guessing actually in the Red Sea, and they can't get them out there. Not at this point, they haven't discovered Africa. So, I'm going to say, let the blockade begin. Blockade enemy port, Mediterranean. You're going to sail over to Benghazi and then basically start splitting up and spreading out automatically. I think I would rather do this manually though. False's Diamonds of Navidad. Our explorer sent us gems he claims to have found in Natividad. White and glittering, he believes them to be diamond, but our learned scholars tell us they are common quartz instead. Far from a source of wealth, they have become the source of ridicule. Alright, let's drop off. Why can't I do that? Oh. Can only... okay. Renewing loans. So it requires 2 transports to blockade. Cert, that's fine. Move you guys on. That's still 7. 4. 2. 2 will do it. Cool. And because we have port basing rights in Crete, this means that we can keep our fleet fully supplied while we're out here. So this is working out quite nicely. Now their war fleet is technically there. So I'm going to leave them behind and we're going to move the rest of the fleet up here. Although there we're only getting 34%. So how about we do this? 48. We're not managing to blockade everything. But we're at least managing to blockade something now. So we are earning 2.3 ducats a month from the blockades. And they're going to start getting ticking war exhaustion because of the blockades against them. Furthermore, the blockades are giving us a little bit of war score. But that's not really going to be a massive help. The main thing will be the cash. $14.91, no Iberian Wedding. No, Iberian Wedding kind of happened in that they PU'd us. We were PU'd by Aragon at one point, which is why Aragon is now really hostile to us. Because we kind of kicked their ass in 2 wars. One of independence, one of taking Alicante and humiliating them, hence our high power projection. So, yeah. We're going to have to do that through military means. When is our truce with you up? 99, so we've got another 8 years. That's why I went to war with the Mamelukes, because I was basically waiting for Aragon to tick down. And yeah, we're just waiting for money at this point. I am wondering, though, do we want to try and build some more ships? Because we are actually a fair bit under the force limit. Nope, that's spending money. Are we going to colonize Paramibo? Possibly. I will need to make some decisions about colonization once we have gotten Cabo Verde. Which we are halfway towards doing now. Ah, there's the other galleys. That's the bulk of their fleet. That's 13 ships. They have 24, so it's about half. But these are all going to be transports, and they are almost certainly in the Red Sea. This really has been a disaster of a war, though. It's been really bad. Really, really bad. The other thing that our blockades will be doing is raising their devastation. Going up by 0.1 a month. Which is further having an effect on their economy. It's reducing their goods produced, manpower, sailors, and all of that good stuff. And this blockade is costing us sailors, by the way. So if you are blockading territories, there is basically a continual... not exactly an attrition tick, but there's an upkeep tick. And that will cost you sailors as if those ships were on missions. So currently we are gaining just 2 sailors a month. And yeah, honestly, this is a really good example of surviving a bad war. Like, this is definitely one of the things I love about Europa Universalis, is you can lose wars and still play on. Losing a war is not the end of the game. I mean, this one is a bit of a wonky war, like Bamboozle has said, because we are ourselves not being occupied and we're not losing territories. Even if we were, though, there is that bounce back ability. There is the ability to get back into the game and keep playing and still be meaningful. And that's absolutely one of the things I love about this game. Hey, Miss Donny. See, the way I'm seeing this war right now is we're not going to lose it, but we're also not going to win it. There will be no victor from this conflict. A new level of army professionalism. We can now refill garrisons. So as your army becomes more and more professional through drilling, you do unlock these new abilities. So what we can now do is once we've taken a garrison, taken a fort, their garrison will be reduced to 0. We can then use manpower from our own armies, which are present, to refill that garrison and basically mean that the enemy will have to re-siege it again from scratch, which would be quite nice. Yeah, we've got our entire fleet out blockading right now. We're at maximum capacity. Except for the explorers, and I'd rather they were exploring. Let's continue exploring the Caribbean, because I would really like to know a bit more about the territories here. Because I fully intend to go in very, very hard on the Caribbean. Particularly these islands. Like Havana and Cuba and all that is nice. Actually, no, we probably should go for the big islands, because the big islands are where the centres of trade are. And that's what I really want to control. Aragon and Venice are at war. It's fine by me. As we know, when we die, God judges immediately and decides a soul's fate when it awaits the last judgment. However, a monk has started a doctrinal dispute that verges on the edge of heresy, claiming that there is no purgatory and saying that prayers to the dead do not assist their passage into heaven. So, probably a heretic, or... Sorry, there's nothing you can do for dead loved ones. Probably a heretic. Please like me more, Pope. Oh, Pope's kind of being occupied by Florence right now. Venice losing to Aragon. Like, don't mess with Aragon's navy. They are actually really, really good. Because of that starting galley combat ability. Plus 20%, like, straight off the bat. What's Venice's ability? I know that Venice is something similar. I think Venice's is, force limit? No, sailors. Yeah, see, Venice doesn't have that combat ability, so their galleys are just not nearly as effective. And then if Aragon also has the galley fighting doctrine, that's basically, what, 40%, 45% combat? And then you add naval and you can start getting up to 70. Just like the knights can. National epic. Our subjects have been telling tales and legends about Enrique III to Trastamara. The legend says that in Castile's darkest hour, he will return to our nation and deliver it from evil. Regardless of this truth of the statement, we could use that in our propaganda. So, love a good story. Cost us a bunch of money, but gain us prestige. Yeah, let's tell a story. Don't forget tortillas. You need to get 5 in the Caribbean ahead of the Portuguese. Yeah, I know. Aragon's navy was famously good in the medieval era. They beat the hell out of France in the War of the Sicilian Vespers. Nice. Alright, now our enthusiasm is down to low, so if we were playing as the Mamluks, we would definitely be able to piece Castile out right now. Unfortunately, we're not, so we can't. But their war enthusiasm is ticking down over time. It's just taking a while. Aha, new technology, military. Yes, I would very much like to be up to date. Thank you. Pike and shot. And then the next one, Miltech 9, very important one. Completed a state agenda, build a manufactory in Rioja. Gain base tax, gain loyalty, gain goods produced. Excellent. Right, what's the next one going to be? Summon the Diet. I'm not building another manufactory, I can't afford it. Salamanca wants base tax of at least 6. That's probably doable. Although that's only loyalty and prestige. It doesn't permanently boost anything. This one is have a castle, bastion, star fort, or fortress in Almeria, which will gain base manpower. This one is have more trade power in Tunis. We don't have the ships to get trade power, so that's not going to be possible either. A fort in Almeria, though, is not actually a terrible idea. It would protect our coastline, it's in the mountains, and it would stop rebellions in all of these locations. However, that would mean the construction of a castle, which is not cheap. 200 ducats, whereas this one would be Salamanca. I mean, we've had that Almeria event come up before. Where's Salamanca? There it is. This would cost us 59. This would cost us 120-ish. That's just for prestige. That's for a permanent boost to manpower. In a mountain province. With grain. That's actually a very good bonus. Yep, we're going to do the nobility. But we're just going to have to try and raise that money ourselves. Local fortification expert discovered. Our local officials in Malaga report that a local man, Alvaro de Benavides, has some rather intriguing ideas on how to create better fortifications. Malaga is a critical fort because it protects the straits. I mean, it's not actually on Gibraltar, admittedly. But it's a really, really good position to stop people coming across. So having extra defensive there would be really nice. Or we could go for the 50% cheaper advisor, which would also be really good. Seeing as we're a bit behind in advisors. Although military we're on time with. It's really Diplo advisor that we need. I think I'm going to let him stay home. Oh, Mordred. Mordred rules the waves. Castile will never be a junior partner again. Lost the rhythm there, but it's the thought that counts. Yeah, hopefully we don't become a junior partner again. That would be kind of annoying. Is it possible for E4 to be beginner-friendly? Well, watch this series and find out. Amazing bit of history. Sicily rebelled against a French-imposed king and then offered the crown to the Aragonese, and they fought an enormously complicated war, which ended up being two different people, each claiming to be the king of Sicily. One on the island, known as the king of Insular Sicily, and one on the mainland, known as the king of Peninsular Sicily, or the king of Naples. They were reunited a few centuries later, and that's where the king of the two Sicilies comes from. Ah, nice. Did Iberian Wedding come into play? No. And it won't. We hate Aragon. We were a personal union under Aragon for a while, so it was basically the reverse Iberian Wedding. And since then we've been super, super, super aggro towards them. And they to us. Okay, so we have now explored the majority of the Caribbean. So let's go ahead and explore other things. West African Sea sounds like a good plan to me. When will this series reach YouTube? I was intending to edit and render it last night and then kind of forgot when it actually came to it. So soon, TM. No! Lubeck! They changed government type. No, they died. Yeah, well, that's definitely one way of enforcing a government change. You know, like killing them. Rebel uprising. Where is this? Valencia, Alicante. Okay. We'll stop drilling. We'll move you over here. Oh, you're going to say it's not for another 2 years. So we'll just stand here in Murcia and wait for it to rise, then we'll attack. We'll need to keep an eye on this being 90% though. Austria has announced Provence as a new rival. Provence is growing. Provence is basically what Burgundy used to be. Holland is growing. Good to see. Utrecht is. Muscovy is finally eating up Novgorod, who has been around for a surprisingly long amount of time. Muscovy, Sukhov, Perm, Belozero, Denmark, Sweden and Norway. Oh, I forgot about that. Denmark and Muscovy being allied. Ugh. We have fought off natives, ate strange fruit, stranger animals, caught diseases that no one should ever have to endure, and despaired for every step leading us away from the inhabited cities. The only thing that has kept us moving forward was stubbornness, the curiosity, and the firm belief of our leader that we will find the place we are looking for. Even their iron will seems to have faded these last days. Had it not been for the great discovery in Corumba, they would have ordered our retreat. Gain a bucket load of dosh. Excellent. I will certainly accept your bucket load of dosh. Did I do the military fort thing? I did, didn't I? Yes, I did. Well, in that case, I'm going to order the construction of the fort now. And now we're going to start paying loans off. Probably. Meanwhile, the clergy absolutely adores us. Is there anything I can do to raise your influence? Oh man. If the Burghers had 10 more loyalty, then I could seize crown lands. Oh, you can't do that because we're at war. Oh, hold on. Native assimilation. Here we go. That would do it. So we now have 100% assimilation. Nobility in the officer corps. That would give us tradition DK. Lose us some army tradition, but also make generals cheaper. I do like the sound of that. Do it. And I'm also wondering, it feels like there's no real downside to supremacy over the crown. Is there? Oh, they can pursue agendas at any time. I don't know exactly what that means. Does that mean that they automatically trigger the diets for themselves? I've always been reluctant to press that button because I don't exactly understand it. And then Burghers in the Admiralty. This is the same as the general thing and means that we would have more naval tradition, which to me sounds like a great idea. And then also the patronage of the arts. This would mean that we would have a permanently higher prestige. Ooh, settle chance. Hold on. Grant new world charters. Tariffs are irrelevant right now. Yeah, we absolutely want that. Oh, and we don't have private trade fleets. We're going to want that eventually, probably. I think you only get their agenda. Oh, I see. Explore West Africa coast. Here we go. Mamelukes are down to medium. Now, is there anything I can do to the Mamelukes to make them a bit more antsy? Not really. They're a surprisingly stable state. I wonder, if I set you to drill in Alicante, will you prevent their uprisings? No. That would actually be quite dangerous. Oh, yes, you are. Friendly troops plus minus 4.75, but there is still unrest here. So we are not risking that. No, siree. Causes Diet event to pop up of its own sometimes. Oh, with the full 3 choices. You still get to choose. Okay. The Amazons. In Castro, there are small tribes with very special arrangements. The women live by themselves, far from the men, who only allow them to visit a couple of times a year. Any boy child fathered this way is returned to the father, and the girls are kept by the women. If approached by any other time than the appointed, the women will defend themselves with bows and arrows. The men of the strange tribe are currently preparing for the next visit, and they have invited the male expedition members to join them. Sounds like a bad idea. Might be the only way to learn about these strange customs. I need Diplo.